episode of the Young and the Rowdies. Just want to tell you guys thank you so much for the love and support. It's an honor for me to be able to represent Gator Nation. I was born a Gator, and it's really cool how this goes full circle where I get to interview anyone and everyone that's got something to do with Florida Gator basketball. This week, we have a first time for this season, our very first current player on the show. And not only is he a current player, he's a newcomer. Not new to the game, but new to a new face for us. But let me tell you, he is lethal. His teammates, they'll let you know he is the guy. He is known. He's a known leader. He is. Everyone's saying that he is. I mean, you can go back to the film, the tape, and see what he's done in his career, just to see how efficient he is. But what I love about this guy, doing a little bit of research, is his humility and his attitude and focus on winning. So, without further ado, I'd like to introduce this year's newcomer to the Florida Gators at shooting guard, Myreon Jones. What's going on, MJ? How you doing, bro?
Good. How you?
I'm good, man. I'm chilling. It's another day, man. To be grateful to for the opportunity to be around the game.
Absolutely. I appreciate you having me on here, man.
Yeah. That was, bro. You got no idea, man. It's like. Sometimes, I mean, actually, you do have an idea because you got your own podcast. It's hard chasing guys down sometimes, man.
That's hard. It's so hard to do that.
I started this podcast last year in November, and it took me a year and a half to get Torian Green on, man. That joke was so aggravating, bro.
Nah, I mean, I started mine, I would say last March or April, and I still wasn't able to get all my teammates on there.
Oh, mate, for real?
Yeah. Everybody busy, and, us being away from each other is even harder to get in contact with them. So.
Yeah, I can imagine. So when did you start last year? It was in during the season or before the season?
Nah, it was during quarantine, like right when COVID just started. That's when I started.
And dude still wasn't like everybody else was like. Because I remember Coach White, and I had him on the show. He was like, we've turned into Zoom University.
Yeah.
Zoom for everything. You would think that it wouldn't be too hard to get a dude on for 45 minutes or something like that. But
yeah, apparently everybody busy. It's all right.
Busy doing what, man? During the pandemic, there was nothing to do.
I don't know. That ain't none of my business.
What you So you guys just finished up practice? You're in the facility right now, right?
Yeah, but we had off today. After our game against Riddle, he gave us 2 days off and then start back again tomorrow.
That's what's up, man. That's super. You got to be excited for the season starting up.
Absolutely.
I mean, I was looking. This Coach White's your third coach, collegiate college coach, because I didn't realize. You had a new coach your junior year over there at State, and that you're getting this opportunity, you're taking this opportunity at Florida. Like this is your third time getting a different philosophy of coaching in the atmosphere. How to even ask it, because it's a full encompassing question. You can be as long-winded as you want, but how has just this your experience with Coach White just been so much different from what you – I never say that one coach's way is worse. I mean, don't get me wrong. Some coaches can be some coaches can be abusive, but, every coach just has different philosophies, and some are very rigid. Like they're not willing to understand that some guys need coaching a little bit differently. But, from my experience with Coach White, I mean, as nice as a guy he is, if he needs to get on you, like he's not afraid to do so. But he's also a very loving, everyday guy, which I love about Coach White.
Well, yeah, like you said, if he needs to get on you, he's gonna get on you, and that's what he's been doing. But I think the biggest difference with Coach White is, I think it's just me personally that I'm just older and like I know the college game, so he doesn't really have to, teach me a lot of stuff. It's really just, you can do this better, you do this better, but it's not really like teaching like you would with a younger dude at a new program. So I feel like that's just the biggest difference.
Yeah, for sure. And I was just listening to Coach White actually talk about how the transfer portal has leveled the playing field. And that's one reason that a lot of people don't realize it's not just about talent, it's about maturity.
Right.
maturity level. Because you go back and look at Trey Mann his freshman year, and I was able to sit in on a few practices, and it's not that he wasn't there, like he didn't have the skill set, but the mindset and the approach. Like for me, when I came my freshman year, man, you couldn't tell me nothing, bro. I had such an ego, man, and like I got overwhelmed with scouting. I got overwhelmed with the class schedule, needing to be at the weights. The weight program was no joke. I mean, we're gonna talk about Preston in a second. We're gonna talk about Preston in a second, but yeah, it was just super overwhelming. And I think now it's a lot to understand. We're gonna see how it's going to translate. But it seems like if I was a head coach, I would focus more of my attention on the transfer portal. If I'm going to bring in, a mature guy like you that's ready to win, because obviously everyone knows you can score, but you want to win, and that's more important because when everyone wins, everybody gets noticed. Like you would hate to be on a team where you're the best scorer and you can do all these great things for yourself, but that's just the mindset and the pride gets there. But it's like, you want all your guys because you already know, like basketball, we don't fight in wars really right now. But like the closest thing we got to it is sport, and you go into the trenches with your brothers. Every day you step out there on the court.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because like when I was in the Big Ten, I noticed all the good teams in the Big Ten were the older teams, and like they just had tradition from winning. And you look at the younger teams, and it's just like they had up and down season. And really, that's going to be what's special about this season is because a lot of teams this year have older teams. So there's no telling who's really going to be a dominant team this year.
Yeah, man. This looking into this year's season. I mean, you guys have 8 new guys. So it's like it's a new it's every year is a new experience, new team, but it's like you stepping into the situation with you picking up 14 new teammates or whatever it is, but what did you guys do and what helps you guys just to bond? So because it like people don't understand, like it's difficult to create chemistry fast. It takes time. It takes like willingness. It takes that teamwork. I honestly think like if everybody in the world played team sports at least once in their life, like this world would be a better place because that sacrifice. Because you got to work. It's not about the me. It's about us working towards the goal and like buying into a system. Submitting to authority as being your coach and understanding that everyone needs to do their job to win and the extra work and being accountable. But like how did you guys mesh so quick? Because I've heard nothing. Everyone's super excited for this season, but how you guys, how were you able to mesh so quick?
I honestly, I don't even know what we did. Like, it's not a particular thing that we did. It's just once we came in, it's like we clicked right away. It's like we know each other since day one. Like in the summer, we were only working out with just like the transfers, and I think that kind of helped us build a relationship. And then once the fall came and everybody else came, I think we all just connected right away and we started hanging out on and off the court. And I think that's what really just built the chemistry with us.
It had to be so tough because I know last season, I'm not sure exactly what your experience at Penn State was, but I know at Florida last year, they didn't have because of COVID protocols, they didn't share the locker room. They weren't able to share the locker room with each other. Like there was only like a limited number of players on the court for the time and managers on the court and the travel. And, they had one player last year that was in COVID protocols on quarantine like 4 times during the season last year. What was it like for you, last year, not being like not having, like, did you guys have a lot of like limited things you could do in the normals? Because you had 2 normal seasons and then you had one that was like just way different.
Yeah, last year was the worst season. Just not from basketball, just from like being around your teammates, period. And I like sometimes we were all separate. Like once we see each other at the gym, we probably wouldn't see each other no more that day. And like compared to my first 2 years, we always hung out with each other. I think that's why we were so good my second year. But last year, like we couldn't even be in the same locker room. Like we had to split locker rooms. Like we had like half of the team in one locker room, half the team in the other locker room, and then once we leave the locker room, that's it. Um, and then once somebody gets like COVID and stuff, we had a pause, and some people stayed at our apartment, and some people had to go to hotels, even if you had it or not. So it was really just, it was an up and down scene just because I feel like we just never got that chemistry. But I feel like we had chemistry that our team would have been way better last year.
What do you think something that you really learned just about life through that, through so much discomfort and so much uh just adversity on a, and you really, honestly, we never know what's coming tomorrow
Right.
in general, but it was really emphasized and magnified in the context of the pandemic last year. What is something that you really learned that you think kind of changed you and your perspective come moving forward?
Yeah, it really just taught me don't take things for granted. Like last year, um, in particular, like you just never knew what game was gonna be your last game because you didn't know like if you're
Yeah.
gonna be out for a couple games because of COVID or the school just cancel your season. You never just know. So just to take advantage of every opportunity you had and don't take anything for granted, honestly.
Yeah, you couldn't have said that any better. Uh, I mean, so many people the mental health aspect of your identity was set in one thing, and then kind of that the value in which you set your whole identity in is kind of taken, and you don't really have solid ground on anything else. Like those outward things can really affect you and make you. Some people don't want to look in the mirror and like just
Right.
hang out with themselves, but that's okay
Yeah.
for a period of time. But long term, man, it was a blessing for me to be able to spend a lot of time with my family. That was one of the silver linings I look at. But I also needed that other like social interaction with other people and being able to kind of move on my own. But it definitely
Right.
gave me that perception of gratitude more than I ever had. But
Absolutely.
let's do a quick transition. I want to talk about just your journey in general, man. Just first off, how did you end up in Penn State from Birmingham, Alabama? How in the
Yeah.
world?
Well, when I had first came out of high school, I had committed to Memphis. I committed to Memphis, and then I would say like a month and a half later, they had fired the coach. It was Tubby Smith. Tubby Smith was
Tubby
at
Smith. Yep.
Memphis. He had got fired in Memphis, and so I decommitted right away. And Penn State was the first school to actually hit me up because I had decommitted so late. It was like it was like late April, early May, and most people really choose a school by then because you go on the summer program in like June.
Yep.
So Penn State, they was the first schools to hit me up, and I always thought like the Big Ten was always like a good conference playing. So I really thought that was a great opportunity for me to see how good I was. So I took a chance on going to Penn State.
But let's go. Let's take it even a further step. Um, you know, when did you start playing? Did you grow up in Birmingham?
Yeah, I grew up
Grew
there.
up there, like high school, everything there, right?
Yeah, I had transferred my senior year of high school. I went to a prep school in Atlanta for
Oh,
1 year.
dang. Huh.
Yeah.
So when did you start? Like, going back to your upbringing, when did you start? Did you start playing? Was basketball was it always a dream, or was you kind of like multi-sport, or how did your love for the game start in general?
Yeah, I ever since I've been born, I've had a ball in my hand. Yeah. My dad, my mom, they kept that ball in my hand, and they used to say, what, if you don't do good in school, we'll take it away from you. So I feel like that's what made me a better student too, because I just wanted to play basketball all the time. But I've been playing since I was probably 6 or 7, probably.
When picking it up early, when at what point, like how involved were your parents with your development? Because for me, my dad, as soon as I played baseball first. And
Hmm.
I remember vividly the first time that I had went out there and I pitched. I think I was 7 years old, and I pitched really well. I don't remember the exact game, but I just remember how excited my parents were. And my dad went full go for coaching, getting me equipment, getting me out to coaches, like making sure we're doing all this stuff in the backyard. I was like, and when I was too immature to like really appreciate the effort then. But like looking back, I'm like, dang man, like what the sacrifices my parents made for me to just have those opportunities were fair. And they did the same thing with basketball too. But I just love hearing like how everyone got to where they got to, and what was that journey like for you?
Yeah, it's kind of the same for me. I started playing basketball. My parents put me in on a YMCA team, and I just love playing basketball so much that I that's when I built that competitiveness. And we suck. Honestly, we just suck. My dad, my dad was just tired of seeing like us little kids just crying after a game.
Yeah.
And so he took upon himself to start his own AU team. And he's been my trainer since day one. He's been coaching me ever since I was in probably first grade until like my 10th grade year. And he sacrificed his time and work. We were no sponsor team, so everything that we got came out of his pocket, what he worked for, like our hotels, food, jerseys. Nah, he did so much. And then my mom, she right there with him. Every trip he go on, we go on. Like she with us, recording all the games. And she recorded all the games and got me and my teammates on YouTube and helped our little recruiting a little bit. So
Yeah.
she been there right there too.
Wow.
So
That had to, not in a way like to think, because I think any parent that can and wants to see their kid pursuing their dreams, they would. If they can, they would. And it's not like you want the correct wording isn't to say that you owe your parent, you owe them, but I'm sure the motivation for every time you step on the court, for all that they put in for you to help you chase after your dream, it's just got to be like so deep in your internal drive every time you step out there, because it's like your dad, your mom, they did everything they could to help you have this opportunity. That's got to be. I mean, that's just something to never take that for granted, bro. For sure, that is such a huge blessing.
Yeah. I tell them every day, I thank you just for looking out for me and my little sister. They did the same thing for her when she came up playing basketball. So I try to show them my appreciation as much as I can. And I feel like the best way I can right now is just going out there in the court and just playing as hard as I can for them right now.
Absolutely. So when did it click for you? When you're a young kid, you're super competitive. Obviously, you love winning. When did it click for you? Like, dang, I'm nice.
I would say probably when I'd say either 8th or 9th grade. I always played up 2 grades. And then I say 8th or 9th grade, I got to the point where it didn't feel like I was playing up 2 grades no more. So I felt like I was playing my age level. And when I finally got to, I think I was in 10th grade. I finally started playing my age level, and it was easy. It felt like the game had slowed down. And I feel like if I stay on this pace or keep getting better each and every day, it's gonna be easy for me.
That's the approach. Yeah, absolutely. You just keep going after it. So when did you start getting like, I know you said you ended up committing to Memphis at first. You're in your sophomore, junior year in high school. How was that? How did recruiting start picking up? Because I can remember, for me, I wasn't getting recruited a lot because I was still kind of like uncorked my 9th grade year. I was tall, like as tall as I am now. I probably weighed 220. I could barely dunk with two hands. I could dunk with one, but I just couldn't finish with 2 hands. And then I had this amazing summer, and I complete my game, my body, everything changed. It started clicking, my coordination. And then I went to, I don't know if they still got it. I went to Reebok headliner camp, dominated that. Then I went to like the ABCD camp that was up in Philly. And then after that camp, that was my first time. Like I had a bed, my bed was full of letters just laid out. And I was just like, what in the world is happening? Like, this is crazy. You know, when did your recruiting like really start to pick up?
Well, first, like when I got in high school, the only school that was really recruiting me was like Sanford and UAB, because that was like the only schools in Birmingham at the time. So I feel like it got towards my last year at AU. I had started playing on a shooter team. I started playing Georgia Stars, and I started playing on the circuit against other good players, and it finally got up to where I wanted, but not as good as I wanted to be. So I think my senior year, that's why I transferred to go to prep school and, just play against better competition even more instead of just the summer. And I think that really helped me because, college coaches was able to contact me all year and they come to practice, come to my games whenever they wanted to. So I feel like that helped me a lot.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, was that a difficult decision to make to transfer like that? I'm sure you had a lot of friendships at that point. But you had a vision, obviously, and where you trying to go and trying to
and
do.
I was 17 when I did it, so I felt like I was letting my friends down. I was letting like people from my hometown down because it was gonna be my senior year, and I was supposed to be the man. Like it was supposed to be like our year to win the state, and so, but I mean, I had a vision. I wanted to get ready for the next level, and I felt like if I stayed there, I wasn't gonna reach my full potential. So, my parents, they helped me find somewhere I could go, and it helped me in the long run.
How did the conversation? Do you remember how the conversation came up? Like, was it like right after your junior year? When the season was over, that you were just like, man, I'm not going. I need because I transferred after my junior year too, and I fortunately was already committed to Florida, but I was just like, man, I'm not getting better where I'm at. I need to go somewhere where I can win, and that I'm gonna get coached up and just have an opportunity. Yeah, have an opportunity to win state, and we did end up winning state, and I had just a fantastic year. But it was weird how it happened. Like my teammate from AAU, he pretty much like was in my ear, like, bro, why are you staying at that school? Like, they don't even get you the ball. You need to come over and transfer in. Right after the season, I was just like, hey, Dad, man, like, we got to find a way to get me out of here.
Yeah, I mean, I think mine started. It started towards the end of my junior year. Like we was getting ready to go through like the regionals and stuff, and like I kind of had an idea that like my folks was looking somewhere for me to go, but I didn't want to like make it reality. So I mean, that whole year I was just trying to win every game because
Yeah.
I knew that was probably it. So when we lost in the regionals right before we got to state, and like I just bawled out in tears because I knew that was like the end. Like I cried probably harder than the seniors, and everybody didn't know why, but that was why I knew that was it. So I mean, I didn't find a school till probably like a month before school started the next
Oh,
year.
wow.
Yeah, so.
Was it like a whole vetting process to finding like the right program and like knowing where you're going?
Yeah, pretty much because that would have been my first time being away from home.
Yeah, yeah.
I had been away from. I had never been away from home, especially a whole year. So I mean, it was in Atlanta, so it wasn't too far away. So it wasn't
That's
that
an
bad.
adjustment in itself. Like,
Yeah,
did
yeah,
someone come up there with you, or were you're at a prep school, so you was there? Like, that was it.
yeah. I was there. Yeah, I was there. Yeah.
And then, hey, so all your teammates, and I was looking at a video earlier, describe you as a leader, ball handler, shooter, scorer, light it up, just all those great qualities you want to have in a teammate. How did those things develop for you? Like, have you always been just that kind of like, everyone's saying like he can. I think it was CJ that said in the video, he is a very, very, very good shooter. Like, have you always just been a great shooter, or did that develop, later on it, like that last year, or what was it?
Nah, I think I always been a good shooter. I think that's just running our genes. Like when growing up, people used to tell me, man, your daddy could shoot, but they like you can't shoot as good as your daddy. So I mean, I always saw that as like competition. I always want to be better than them. And then my uncle used to play. He used to act like he could shoot better than me. So I used to really just want to shoot better than them, and that's how I got it. And then playing AAU 2 grades up, you play against older guys, they act like they better than you too. So I'm trying my best to just stay on their level. So I feel like that really helped me growing up. And then when I got to college, I just had to keep working on it because, in college, some people have special talents. Not
Yeah.
everybody can shoot now. And so everybody was looking at me like, yeah, he could shoot. Everybody trying to catch up to me, and I had to make sure, catching up to me.
I love everything about what you just said because your parents, your uncle, your dad, and your uncle, they weren't speaker. The people even talking about your dad, they're not. They stimulated that competitive fire in you of like, nah, I'm gonna be like, just watch and like. I love that because it's not like no one's saying that you can't to do it, but like, hey, go be better. Like, and that's what you would want. Like, as good as a big man I was, when I have a son one day, I'm gonna want him to actually like be more dominant and to like have a little bit more of a shot and obviously shoot better free throws. shoot better free throws than me too, bro. I was shooting like 50% one point. We ain't gonna talk about that though, because we talk about you. But so you go into your freshman year, and again, like I guess that was kind of not nice that you were prepared for kind of being away from home. That 1 year, senior year of high school, you go over to Penn State. You played in 30 games that year. Probably didn't play as much. I don't know what was your experience like that first walking in college practices? Because that had to be for me. I was just like, yo, this is different. Yeah. Everybody moving faster and stronger, and I can't get the rebounds as much. And we got all these pick and roll defenses and the sets, and we got 2-a-day practices, and we got weights too. Like, what is going on?
Nah, it was a big adjustment because when I came in college, I don't know how much I weighed. I was like 160 something compared to dudes that's like 225 in the Big Ten. Big Ten basketball is different. So just the tempo of college. In high school, it's always some people that's just not good. Everybody's good in college, honestly. That's why they're there. And, just the pace and trying to get over screens and stuff, all that stuff was just a big adjustment. And I think that's why I struggled my freshman year because I didn't understand what I was getting myself into. Like all I knew was I was the man, and I can do whatever I want. And now I'm playing against better players than me. It was a big adjustment, and I had to sit back and learn the process.
Yeah, usually, that's a theme for a lot of people that come into a school their freshman year because you play high school basketball and you run into an occasional team that has a really good player or a really good team, but still for the most part they're not like running sets and like great defenses and all. Like it's not like that college level. And this they still running boxing ones. I'm sure you got a lot of boxing ones in high school. What?
Yeah,
I got boxing one as a big man. Like, what is that?
I don't know how that works.
Bro was defending me on offense. Like he was on offense, and he's like, bro, bro, you ain't going no. I'm like, bro, like, what you doing?
I ain't never seen a big man get boxing one. I ain't never seen that.
I wasn't even like that. I wasn't even like, give me the ball, ISO. I was just like pick and roll, run the floor, throw me the lob, offensive rebounds. But he was just, that was the coach's set. But yeah, that was the first time for me. But where was I going with? Oh yeah, what was one of like the biggest adjustments for you as a freshman?
The biggest adjustment.
Because you made a big jump from freshman to sophomore year. Like you went from, I think you went 4 points to 13. Like that is a huge leap in efficiency and effectiveness and knowing what to do and getting your shots. That's not overnight. That's for sure not overnight.
Yeah, I just stayed in the gym. I learned how to I learned how to have a better work ethic. You know, in high school, I thought I worked hard, but in college, I realized people are working harder than me, so I got to work extra harder. And you know, just not playing. I feel like that built the fire in me that I ain't want to have that feeling where I'm sitting on the bench watching. So I had that mindset that I'm gonna do whatever it takes to get on that court next year. And so, you know, I worked at all parts of my game, and the next year, you saw the results of it.
Before we move on, let me tell you guys a little bit about our partners over at Bet Rivers Sportsbook. If you haven't signed up with Bet Rivers yet, now is the time because they are offering a $250 match bonus for your first deposit. But what sets them apart is that they require just one play through to turn your bonus into cash money. With their new Rush Pay Instant Approval, withdrawing your winnings is safer, more secure, and more reliable. With basketball season tipping off, get in on the action by going to betrivers.com today or by downloading the BetRivers iOS app. Must be 21 years or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLING. Yeah, that's so keen, man. It's like, man, we're relating on so many parts. Obviously, you're a shooter, but I just feel like I have such similar parts of my journey with yours. Just like I thought I had a work ethic until I got to college, and I realized, dang, like it's a reason that there's some guys that are, you know, first team, and it's not like it's not all just it's not that I'm not capable. It's just that these dudes study, like they really pay attention to film, like all the little things, the maturity, the understanding that you treat. I was listening to Deion. I'm gonna send this to you. It's like a 1 minute clip of Deion Sanders talking about practice. He's like, everybody just coming to practice just to practice. Nobody is practicing to be great. People coming in here, guys coming in thinking about, let me just get through this. Let me just go through the motions. Like, nah, like every single day in practice in every single rep of something, you should treat it like as though it's the game rep. Like that's the real. So when you step to the game, you know, you're not surprised by anything because it's like, no, I've been because it's crazy. Like the mental part is way more than the physical. Everybody's in the gym. Everyone's doing crazy off-season programs. Like no one's getting more court time or less court. Everyone's getting the same access throughout the year. But that mentality, the mindset, the taking in the scouting, understand, man, I don't know if you've ever done like video stuff with the coaches and like seeing how much time they put into getting those specific clips, man. Oh my goodness. Like the time that it takes, because you know the coaches are doing everything they can to prepare you guys to play and win. But like it just was so, and I used to be one of those guys when I couldn't remember plays, I couldn't remember being in the right spot, attitude wasn't there, and it's just like that stuff is just taken away from the team, the greater value of the team being great. And it seems like you really got that, you know. And that no one's perfect, I'm sure, you know, and I don't, you know, stay humble, but also have that confidence at the same time. But it seems like you really have come to figure out that approach to the game of like, I'm always going to be a student and I'm never going to think I got all the answers, but I'm going to step in here with confidence because I put that work in, like, and I'm going to keep going and I'm going to come at y'all every day.
And that's one of the things, like my freshman year, I struggled with because, you know, I wanted to be on the court so bad that I would just try not to mess up. And I wasn't playing with much confidence. I would just catch it, you know, if I ain't seen it, I'd pick it up and just pass it and just go to the corner. You know, you can't mess up like that. But then I realized, like, I'm not doing nothing on the court if I'm just doing that. So it's probably not gonna play me anyway. So I had to learn how to like play with that confidence again that I had in high school. Not exactly how I was in high school, but like smarter with confidence. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. Yeah, that our brains can't. It's weird. Our brains can't tell the difference if I'm like, don't miss short or miss short. It's only hearing miss.
Yeah.
And don't mess up and mess up. Like it's only you're only thinking subconsciously about making a mistake. And mistakes are gonna happen, obviously, but you know, it's hard for a coach to coach someone who's not putting the effort out there or not even remembering the small things. But that's why you prepare, and that's why you approach practice with that mindset of like, I'm treating it like the game. I'm paying
Right.
attention to everything so I can go out and coach can trust me. But, after, how difficult, because you ended up making a similar decision that you made in high school
Right.
to in college here. Like how difficult was it for you to decide like you wanted to leave school and go somewhere new and end up coming? Oh, we'll talk about how you ended up coming to Florida, but how difficult was that to end up deciding you wanted to enter the transfer portal?
It really that this time it wasn't difficult at all, honestly, because they had fired my coach. Our intern coach, we knew he wasn't gonna coach no more. The assistant coach, he was gone, and a couple guys was just talking like, yeah, this might be it for us here, and so I really didn't feel like I was leaving nothing behind, or you know, I felt like I needed a new situation anyway, a new environment.
When did they when did they implement? Because I forget when they implement that you could play right away.
They did that. It was middle of the season, I think. I think it was middle of the season. So once they had said that, we was like, yeah, we probably be
You was
out of here.
like,
Yeah,
ah.
yeah. I think they had did like in like January, February, something like that.
I'm gonna see y'all, boy. So once you're into that transfer portal, um, did you have in mind? Because I was wondering, like, because you don't have an agent in college. So how does it work for do the coaches? They get your number and they just start calling you, or how does that necessarily work when
Yeah, I
you get
mean,
recruited again?
yeah. Basically, I just fill out this form. When I was at Penn State, I filled out the transfer portal form, and it took like like I would say like 12 hours for it to process, and then the next day, um, I was getting calls. I guess when I put my number and email, on the form, they called me right away and
Right
stuff. So
away.
yeah, yeah.
And the process. Did you make a top five and all that stuff too? Did you have an idea where you wanted to go, or um,
Yeah, I mean, I kind of want to come to SEC, kind of be closer to home for my family, for my last year. So, because, at Penn State, that's kind of the only way they could get to those games, probably like the away games. And that was probably like the closest one probably was like Maryland or Purdue in Indiana. Those were probably like the closest to home. So just come to SEC is probably like one of the things I pinpoint and just want to be closer to home.
I'm trying to say, y'all play Alabama this year?
Yeah, we play on me here though.
Oh yeah, y'all got them here on January 5th,
Yeah.
and that's just I got them one time. So all right, so yeah, when did Coach White call you personally?
It was Coach Pinkins that called me. He
And
called me. I was in the airport on the way home.
what was he saying? Like, and how did you end up making a decision? Because it was crazy at Florida. I mean, I guess from a standpoint of the fans, at one point we were like, dang, like it's a quote unquote mass exodus that we got two guys that have entered the NBA and then we got four guys that transferred. So
Right.
we're like, how are we going to fill those voids? What was the message that was portrayed to you that you were like, yeah, that's you already knew you wanted to go SEC
Yeah.
anyway, but why Florida?
You know, I had a conversation with Coach Pinkins, and he was like, "We got opportunity for you. Play high minutes. You can be a big role on this team. We got guys looking for the draft in the portal, and he was saying right now we only got one guard from last year's team, and I thought that was a great opportunity for me, because as a senior, you really don't want to be competing for minutes, like to be honest, like you really just you don't want to
Right.
transfer somewhere where you're playing less minutes, but he was just saying like I'm not gonna promise you anything, but from what I hear, I know you got a good work ethic, and um I believe that you can work your way into a big role on this team and stuff. And so I think that was a good thing for me. And then I talked to Coach White, and Coach White was the same way. He just seemed real genuine, and like he said, I'm not promising you anything, but it's up there for you to take. Um, and I felt cool. I felt cool with just being a Gator, because the winning culture here. They come to the tournament almost every year. Every year you look up, you see Florida in the tournament, and I ain't never been to a tournament before. So, I wanted to be a part of a winning culture and be a part of a team, like have a big role on that team of winning culture and going to the tournament. And so I thought Florida was a good choice.
Yeah, I mean, it's a perfect fit. We had some shooters in the past. I guess, I mean, you're more than a shooter, obviously, but guys that could light it up, but that wanted more of a role, that weren't capable of doing those things. And we've also, these last few years, we struggled shooting from three. We struggled knocking those shots down, and sometimes, man, the team just struggled just having someone be like, hey, like, let's stay together, calm down, or whatever that leadership is. Because I think a lot of times what happens is adversity hits, and those bad tendencies start leaking back in. The adversity hits, and then the undisciplined stuff starts happening. You stop trusting the system. You start, and it's like, having the leadership that which you guys have now. I think that's going to help a lot. But I'm gonna be honest, bro. I think you're in the best league in the country right now.
Yeah.
I think the talent level of the SEC this year, I think there's going to be 8 teams that make the tournament, obviously Florida included. I'm looking at Kentucky's. They're not going to go 9-16 again. I ain't gonna lie. I wasn't mad. Alabama looking to come back good again with their 3-and-D offense. Tennessee, they re-upped. They're going to be solid. Auburn's going to be all right. With their freshman J.D. Davison. Arkansas is going to be solid. Mississippi State, don't slip on them. And I would say, I mean, we'll see what happens with Vanderbilt. They've had some really bad luck, I would say, these last few years as far as star players that they've had, like consecutive seasons that have gone first round that get injured early and aren't able to play throughout the whole season. So, and not only, great teams, great coaches. I think every single night, having the leadership that you guys have is going to help you day in and day out, because, it losing to one of those teams if it ever were to happen, it's not that it's just like you lost to a really good basketball team. Like, it's going to be competitive. So it's man, you chose a great choice getting to the SEC. This league this year, I'm so excited for you guys. And this episode is coming out, like I mentioned before the show. This episode is coming out before the game Sunday against Florida State. I don't know if you don't know.
I heard.
We lost 7 years in a row.
I heard about it. That's the first thing they told me when I got on campus. They're like, yeah, we played Florida State this year, and this is our year. I'm like,
please.
That's our year. And they said, we ain't beat them in 7 years.
7 years.
Like, dang.
Yeah. I know. I'm like, I can't even. I got no words. But like, let me give you a chance to, and we were talking about just the chemistry that you and the other guys that transferred in were able to form. Would you say that you guys formed a lot of chemistry through what Preston Green put y'all through in the summer?
Nah, most definitely. He definitely had a part of it, because you know what it's like doing that.
Right.
So I mean, all the Friday mornings, getting up early, basically feel like you're dying. Like they're to pick you up and they cheering you on and they dying with you. I feel like that did build a lot of chemistry, and it brought us closer together.
Did he get anybody to throw up? I know he got somebody to throw up.
I don't know. I think like somebody in the first group threw up, but nobody in my group threw up. I don't know about the first group.
Did you, compare again with strength coaches too, and I think every strength coach has a little something just up here, something just, what was it like, for your body, for your strength? Did you notice the difference in what Preston had you guys doing? Because I think a lot of the strongman stuff he has us doing, obviously it doesn't all correlate to basketball, but the mentality of
Right. Yeah.
pushing yourself and then, you know, bonding with your guys through those tragic, catastrophic
Yeah.
drills that he got y'all
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah, I mean, like when I was at Penn State, we did things similar, but not like exactly. But when I was there, I realized, this is just mental. It has nothing to do with basketball. It's just mental, and it helps you for when you're on the court when you're tired, and when you think you're tired, you're really not tired. And so I think that's what it really put into me, and just Preston, he did a good job motivating. Like everybody there was real motivating. He helped me reach another level I didn't think I could get to, and so I appreciate him so much
Yeah,
for like just
he's a
killing me.
great dude, man.
Yeah,
He truly is a great dude. Like he's so smart too. Like
yeah,
he's been studying this stuff for so long. Like he can give you whatever advice that you would need in regards to just taking care of your body or working on your mobility here or there. Like he is recommending you books. Like
hmm
he is all about that. But I'm gonna give you an opportunity to I was watching that video. Your guys, getting into a little bit of a preseason. Walking into this upcoming season, opening day is the ninth. Brag on your guys a little bit, man. There's a lot of new faces.
yeah,
There's not a lot of new faces for the team, for the fans that haven't seen. Some fans were able to see the exhibition game, but obviously you don't play all your cards in your hands in those games. But
hmm
yeah, give you a chance to go ahead and brag on your guys and what you've seen this summer. And yeah,
For one, everybody on this team, I feel like are dogs. I just feel like we just got that dog mentality. A lot of people underestimate us. Um, but we have talent at every position. We got talent at every skill level. I really don't think this team has a weakness, honestly. And I think like we're gonna be we're gonna be top in the country in defense, and I think we're gonna be an underrated passing team. This team pass well, and that's not usual for a whole new team. Usually you have
right.
like egos and stuff, and like everybody trying to get theirs and stuff. But on this team, I don't see that. We move the ball like we just been playing forever, and I think just our chemistry gonna take us farther than people think we are.
And I believe so wholeheartedly that you know the members of the body, being the team, the members of the body are only able to emulate what they see in the head every day, and
Mhm.
that's in Coach White. And Coach White, he is just from my experience. I don't get a chance to be with him as much as you can in art, but his just everyday attitude, man, every day the same guy, and just like high level excitement, competitive. Wants to be like, I already know y'all going up and down, but I already know it's no joke. Like he wants he and just it just seems like the thing for you everywhere you go. It's just like that competitive, something's just pushing your competitive edge even more. And that's dope because now, like, I truly believe that you're going to be in the best conference this
Mhm.
year, like hands down. Like it's going to be every single night, whether you're on the road, even if you're on the road to like South Carolina, because we lost to South Carolina at home last year after beating West Virginia on the road. So it's like no games to sleep on. So,
Mhm.
but the thing is, greatness can do it. Like you can achieve greatness once, have a great game, but true greatness is that sustainability that like no matter how good I did the day before, no matter how bad I did, you know what it takes. I'm still staying after putting this work in. I'm still getting that extra film. I'm getting this extra sleep. I'm asking these questions. I'm holding my guys accountable. I'm showing up ready to work, put my hard hat on every day. No matter what happened the day before, like that consistent greatness. And I just know like in Coach White, he's really instilled that in you guys in such a short time. Like it's
Yeah.
crazy that y'all are able to get that amount of chemistry and not have the egos in the way, like just like that. That's kind of unheard of, especially
Right.
with that many new guys
Yeah,
that
that's
fast.
why that's why that's what I like about this team. Like, I feel like on any given night we can have a different lean score, and I feel like honestly we got 10 potential starters on this team. Like we could go anywhere and start on any team. And I don't like we haven't started playing yet, so I really don't know. But from what I've seen so far, that it's not gonna matter who's the leading scorer or not, because we just got guys that want to win, and that's how competitive we are.
Yeah.
Like in practice, they gotta tell us to like relax on showing emotions, because I think that's just how bad we want to win. And
Yeah.
I mean, I love teams like that.
Yeah, I would rather have guys out there because that they really care and they really want it so
Right.
bad, and they
Right.
really fighting for it. So I was talking to Mac, the manager, the other day, and you guys have two players on the team that are former defensive players of the year.
Right.
Philan got it twice.
Mhm.
Brandon was defensive player. Like, what dynamic do they bring? Like, they got like two. That's unheard of.
Right.
You got two guys out there that just swarm and it ain't afraid of nobody. Like, they probably make it hard for you to score.
Yeah, it's definitely hard. Like I never had to play against somebody like just like when they on the same team, it is hard to score because Brandon might be guarding me, and then they switch, and now Flan guarding me, and it's like dang, I worked to get away from him. Now he on me, but I feel like when we start playing, it's gonna drive teams crazy because like, and it's a different look on your best player no matter what, and 9 times out of 10 we gonna win that battle, and just having them on your team, like it brings that energy it's contagious because everybody else want to go to their level too and bring up their intensity. So I feel like just having them is such a big plus on this team.
Yeah, man, it's amazing. Having guys that just take on the challenge, every night in and night out. So similar to the team I had my senior year, where we wanted the whole team to 40 points. Like, if they scored 50, we were pissed.
Right.
We wanted like Jordan McRae coming off the screen. We called it 6 hands on the ball. Like, he's coming off the floppy set. The big man shows for a second, the guard off the ball, off the pass, he shows hands for a second, and then also the dude trailing, he's coming back on. So as soon as he gets the ball, he's like, dang, they swarm me. He gives it right back up. And like, we want you to feel that. And even on our double teams, man, our double teams were so crazy. As soon as that ball went up to the big man, we're there. Where you going? What do you think you're doing? But wanted to ask you, one more question, and I'll let you talk a little bit on what you're doing on your stuff outside of basketball. What is leadership to you?
Leadership to me is just being like, not saying like a role model or leader, but just being that example for everybody else. Nobody wants to follow somebody that's doing wrong or not doing the right stuff, and just leader doing the right things and putting everybody in check. Someone that somebody's gonna listen to because they know that they're not gonna tell them no wrong, and that's what I just think a leader is.
Yeah, absolutely, and it helps so much when you're such a consistent leader within yourself, and not that you can't go unblemished or be. I think even leading through mistakes is a sign of leadership, because then you're approaching people to say, hey, I'm not perfect, I messed up too, but this is how I show up, and I'm accountable. I hold myself accountable to my mistakes, so you should hold yourself accountable too.
Right.
But that's big shit. Hey, easier said than done sometimes. Absolutely. Definitely easier said than done, but man, I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for allowing me to connect with you, bro. I'm pumped for seeing you out there. I'm actually going to be up there covering your game against Milwaukee. That's going to be big time. Before I let you go ahead and shout the people out about your podcast, Midnight Domino.
Yeah, I got a podcast, Midnight Domino Show. I do with my teammate from Penn State, John Hara. We've been doing it for like a year and a half now. Basically just talk about, being a college student athlete, you know, and the journeys you go through, all the stories you probably experience, and like just like all the special moments and stuff. Like basically, get inside what it's like to be a student athlete at a Division I college or anywhere, you know. We post almost every Friday. We try to do every Friday, but sometimes, you know, schedules get packed. So, you know, but you should go listen. Like it's a good little listen. So I think episodes are probably like 30 to 45 minutes. So, you know, it's on all streaming platforms. So yeah.
That's big time. Definitely got to. You know, when I'm doing this year, since I'm gonna be so busy, I got 4 jobs. I'm just, if you can, and you got a full-time job being a student athlete, and as well as, you know, being a student, being an athlete, and the stuff you got going outside of the court. But you know, trying to get up as many episodes in a row as you can. Just like I got like 3 episodes in the queue right now, so like I'm good. So like, not that I want to relax, but I don't have to be stressing about getting out the next one. What else you got going on outside the court?
Not much. I'm a simple dude, you know. I'm either in the gym or I'm at home like doing homework or like playing video games, watching TV and stuff. Other than that, I just be chilling. I don't do much.
I love it, man. Just a man that knows, has a vision, has a focus. Because I believe, I wholeheartedly believe that, you know, everything else will come when you're focused and you're living in purpose. You know, you cut out them distractions. Girls ain't going nowhere. Money is all, opportunities with money are always going to be around. But you go out there and you perform on that court, man, you know, you look back with no regrets, knowing that you put everything into it and had no regrets. You know, wish I could have figured that out sooner. I was a little distracted for a minute, but I'm so grateful for the time that I had at Florida and the time I had as a pro. But MJ, midnight, Mr. Buckets. Everyone's excited to see number 0 out there this year. Opening night, everyone is on November 9th. We got Florida State on the 14th. We thank you so much for your time checking this episode out. That was Myreon Jones from Alabama, from Birmingham. He is the leader, the shooter, bringing that great energy. He's ready for this SEC competition. We can't wait to see how the season's going to pan out. But guess what? Basketball season is back. So Gator Nation, stay rowdy.